Hey everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome back to my channel. This week I want to make a collage that's sort of inspired by a frame. So the last time I was at the thrift store, I found this frame. It's one of those hinged kinds and it's designed to stand up on its own. And there's a few things I really liked about this frame. I like the metal detailing around the frame. I just think it's kind of interesting. I also like that there's two picture spots, and so I can make two collages and they can sort of play off each other, have a similar style, that kind of thing. A little bit of a challenge because you have to make them the exact same size. The last thing I like about this frame is I think I can finagle a way where I won't have to use the backing of the frame, and whatever collage I make, I can have free floating on the glass, so you'll be able to see through it. And I think that will give an interesting look to the collage, and I've never done anything like that, so I'm excited to play around with it a little. So I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do. I might pick two people and we'll do a similar style, or maybe one long landscape or one long object or something. Not exactly sure yet, but let's start flipping through some books and see what we can make. Let's start looking for people first in case we can find anyone interesting. Now I'm looking at these covers and I'm a little bit inspired by these designs. I kind of like the idea of having a person's head and then you cut the top of the head off and have stuff coming out of it. Now, I wouldn't want people coming out of it, but if we could find two busts that would fit in the frames and then put something coming out of the head, I kind of like that idea. The other thing I want to keep in mind is that I want to keep the background completely empty because I'm gonna have the glass and we're gonna be able to see through it. So I want to keep that in mind. So this might be an interesting concept. We're gonna have to find the right people, so let's start flipping through it. So I've been flipping through books, trying to find some sort of subject, trying to find some sort of starting point to get inspired by. And I've been struggling a little bit, but then I remembered a collage I made kind of a long time ago. So if I go to my Instagram and scroll really, really far back, this was a really long time ago, maybe a year ago. Here he is. So I made this sloth composition with the sloth that's sort of hugging a mushroom with the leaf in the back. This collage is pretty simple, and I remember this one being pretty small. I don't have the original, and that's why we're looking at it on Instagram, but I think this idea will work really well with the see-through glass with no background. You know, some sort of animal holding on to something. Maybe it will be a mushroom, maybe it will be a phone or a carrot or something else, and then one other detail like a flower or something in the background. I like this idea and I like this sort of composition, so I'm going to use my own art as inspiration and try to make something in this similar style to use in the frames. So I found some objects and some animals. I tried to focus on finding animals that were already holding onto branches. I feel like this will just be easier and look more realistic when we translate them into holding on to an object. The other thing I'm trying to keep in mind is how these are going to work together as a set. I think the obvious two objects are using the key and the phone. They're similar size, they're both darker color, so I think that these two would work well together. But I do like the knot. I think that would work really well with one of these animals. It's just such a different style from all the other things that maybe it will feel weird. I also like the shoe. I think we could get the shoe and the raccoon to work together relatively well. I think that would be a fun pair, but maybe it doesn't work with the other objects as well. I think the next step is to cut everything out and see if we can get these actually to work together. My initial thought is that maybe this guy can work on the phone and this guy could work on the key, or the other way around maybe. I thought maybe the key wasn't long enough, but maybe the other way around. I think this guy will hang off almost anything. So if we're struggling, he could probably hang off the key. And I think the raccoon and the shoe, I maybe could finagle to work. So let's start there. And then I do want to add a third element once we get these together, but I'm not exactly sure what that element is going to be. It was a leaf in the background on the sloth picture that I did before. So I don't know, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense with the phone and the key to have a leaf, but I don't know. We'll figure that out after. Let's see if we can get these objects to work together. All right, I got everything cut out. Let's start to play around with this a little bit. I'm thinking I might like the key with this guy. So let's see if we can make this work. Okay, the tail is weird because there was more of it being covered in the picture. So maybe the key is not the right one for this guy. Maybe he's better on the phone. So the tail doesn't make a whole lot of sense still, but I think that I can make it work with some finessing. Okay, I think I can make this one work too with some finessing. Okay, the raccoon shoe one is not quite right, but I think that we're okay with these two. I think I can make these work well enough. The other thing is I have my piece of glass here just so we can double check the size of it. This is probably gonna be hard for you to see, but I think that this one is looking like a great size and this guy is also a great size. Now, the last thing we need to figure out is what is that third element? I think that probably a green leaf would give some nice color to these. So maybe we should do that, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's think about that for a second. With these on white, you can now see what's going on. I also think this will help me determine what size of leaf I'm looking for. I think this piece will need a smaller leaf. There's already a lot going on and this cord is adding a lot of interest, so probably just a little smaller leaf. This guy over here could probably get a bigger leaf or maybe something with a stem that could come off the bottom of the page. I do like the cord that it goes to the edge of the paper up here, and so maybe if we can find something to do that down here, that would be fun. I think I like this idea that these objects are branches, and so the animal is still in the wild. The leaf will sort of hint to that, but then the branch is an object, and I guess that's kind of the message I'm trying to get across. So let's look for leaves now. So these are looking great. I think I figured out the tail section over here. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it's okay. It's as good as it's gonna be. Now we're ready to assemble and I'm very excited. Now, because the frames are designed to be used with a backing and I don't want to mount these on a white piece of paper, we need to have something see-through to mount the image to keep it intact. So what I have is this piece of, what is this, plexiglass? I bought a really cheap frame a couple weeks ago, and the thing I was framing, I didn't actually need glass, so I just kept the plexiglass. If you make things, you know, you just keep whatever you have. So I think I can cut out some of these into the right size, and we can tape it onto this to put in the frame to keep the structure of the image, but still keep that see-throughness. So we'll see how that goes. That is my plan. So let's get these all together because I'm very, very excited. So these turned out great. I absolutely love them. I never thought I'd be inspired by a frame, but here we are. I made these sort of because of this frame, and I think it turned out really great. The only thing that I think would make this absolutely perfect is if this monkey was facing the other way, or this one was facing the other way, so they were like facing each other. Right now they're both facing the same way, but it's sort of a minor nitpick, and you know, you do what you can with the images that you find. So this turned out really fun. I absolutely love it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week for another collage video. Bye!